Hi, it's Dave Chapman, the gardening astronomer here. Everyone seems to be making videos these days of their gardens, so I'm going to do mine. It's the last day of June, Sunday. It's very wet, but the rain stopped, and I'm going to take you for a little tour. So here's the perennial garden and shrub garden that we put in 2006. It's coming along nicely. Needs a bit of pruning. And I'll just scan around. There's my little tower for the cucamelons. We'll have a closer look at that later. There's my cold frame. There's some potatoes and zucchini squash growing in front of that. There's my tower for the sun gold tomatoes coming up. There's another little container with cucumber in, and behind that the rhubarb, more potatoes. There are my raised beds. We'll have a closer look at those. And just swing around here and look at our deck. There's a number of plants here. Geranium, mountain laurel. That blue pot is my grandson's garden. There's a few other things there. There's our deck. When it's hot out, we sit under this nice Coolaroo sunshade. Here's the side of our garden. There's some daylilies that are going to come up and so on. There's my garden shed, and we're coming around to the 360 degree tour, and my rainwater collection system and overflow reservoir. And there's my kitchen composter right there. It's full of worms chewing on things. So here's my herb planter that's on our deck. Starting out with chives, which go there year after year and survive the winter. I was trying to grow some parsley there, didn't come up. Here's some coriander that I planted and is coming up. There's a couple of tomato plants that I need to get to my daughter. There's some French thyme, some Greek oregano, a spot there for some summer savory that I need to replant. There's my winter savory that stays there all year round and grows back every spring. There's some lemon thyme, rosemary. Here's a mountain ash sapling that I rescued. Sort of self-seeded itself, and I stuck it in there. Survived the winter and it's doing great. Some more chives, a little bonsai maple tree, and there's my basil shivering away in that pot. Here at the bottom of the garden steps, there's kind of a wild herb garden. There's some thyme over there. Over here, there's lemon balm, chives, common oregano, some mint, trying to push its way up from that pot. Over here there's a lovage plant that I've been using. There's a next to the pulmonaria, there's some sage. Back in there amongst the periwinkle, there's actually random fronds of mint that I go in and harvest from time to time. Over here is my cucamelon tower. It has a couple of plants in there, and there's a couple in pots that I'm going to give away, and there's a lemon cucumber waiting to be transplanted. In the summer this will be completely covered with vines and leaves with hundreds of cucamelons, believe it or not. Here's my Aramosa potato. That's the earliest one I expect. There's zucchini plants. Back here is my cold frame where I mostly start things early in the spring. So there's some mustard with the yellow flowers that I'm going to let go to seed. There's a parsley plant that's in its second year will go to seed. Down there in the back there's some sweet peppers, and there's some arugula there. Back over here on the right there's some parsnip and kale that have been growing there since, I would say, March, April. There's a few things tucked in there. Here's one of my raised beds. At the left is some bok choy that didn't do very well. There's some radish growing there, some endive and perpetual spinach. There's a row of kale. There's some romaine lettuce and Bella Rosa lettuce. There's some more mustard and some arugula coming up there. Over here there's some white turnip and some spots I need to plant some things in. Over here there's some beets, and then some peas and runner beans that are not doing as well as I hoped. Far raised bed, there's some peas at the left that are doing much better. There's some fallow soil there that I'll be planting bush beans in. And here's my bush beans. There's a couple of plantings of 2 different kinds of bush beans, and my runner beans are coming up over there, so they're doing nice. Here's some plants I only bought yesterday that need to go in. So at the back there's a tiny tin tomato at the left, a couple of eggplant, and a ground cherry on the right. In the front there's some, at the left there's some Brussels sprouts, then some lavender, an Asian or a Middle Eastern herb called za'atar, and some tarragon. And all these should go in when it's not too wet to work in the garden.